Hey, welcome to Curious Kim Dennis, the channel where I discuss everything that I'm curious about. And today I'm very grateful to have with me a woman who has been inspiring me for the past few years. Her name is Samat Sky. Samat is an earth-based shaman, a singer, a songwriter, a moon dancer, a ceremonial leader, and medicine woman. So thank you very much for joining me.
You're welcome.
Samat.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So can you tell us about your background and how you became an earth-based shaman?
Well, that is quite a long story, but again, it was a natural unfolding. It's just how life happened, one step at a time. I guess in looking at my background, my life, the way that I was born, the way that I was raised, where I was raised, which is in a very rural part of Canada, surrounded by nature. That was a big influence of growing up with horses and in mountains, with lakes and creeks, and being deeply connected to nature. And as much as I remember my childhood and myself as a as a teenager, as an adolescent, and younger, there was always a part of me that longed for something more, or there was a thirst or a quest of knowing that there was always something more than what I was being shown in society, or more than what the educational system was presenting. So I feel like there was a part of me that was looking for something deeper, something more, and that took me on different travels and studies and teachers and experiences and my own healing journey. And from there it organically unfolded that really from my own search, my own quest for truth, for freedom, that step by step led me to what I'm doing now. Yeah, that's the short version of it.
And can you share any insights from your tradition that you think might be relevant?
Insights from the traditions that I've worked with, that I've learned. I mean, there's so many. It's so rich and vast because I've studied many different traditions and the mystical qualities that a lot of them carry. I think first and foremost what they've shown me is that we as humans aren't all that we've been taught that we are, insofar as the way that we've been, I guess you can say, programmed, again, through our educational system, through our society, that we are so much more than what we realize, that we are sparks of light, we have supernatural abilities, just that there's so much more to reality than the reality that we think. I mean, it depends on the reality that you subscribe to, but for me, what our society says is reality, for me is not necessarily reality. So this is something that I've been shown is there's so much more to this existence than what we realize. And in that brings an excitement, a magic, a freedom, and I guess you can say a joy and a deep gratitude to living. So also something I can say that I've received from these traditions that is really so profound is a basic appreciation for the essentials in life, to understand our origins of life and our origins of our existence, and what gives us life and what sustains our lives, and coming back to a real simple gratitude of that which we have. And I mean really basic essentials, like we have clean water, we have clean air, we have clean food, we have shelter, coming back to that. basic gratitude and gratefulness for all the blessings that are showered upon us. So in that is healing this kind of like lack mentality, because a lot of us in our Western culture, we haven't been shown, and we haven't been nurtured in a way that shows us that we are always connected. We are always connected to the source of life, and in that connection, we're always taken care of. There's a lot you hear a lot in kind of therapies or new age genres about like get connected or be connected or how to get connected to this. But from where I sit, we're never disconnected. How can we ever be disconnected? We're always connected. So this is the bare essential, to know that we're always connected. Why? Because we breathe, because our heart beats. Therefore, we're always connected to the source of life. So it's how to appreciate that and honor that, and give our respect to the origin of that.
So part of, your treatment, your magic is revealing that connection to people. I guess so. I hope so. I mean, it's up to each individual, but yeah, if I had an aspiration, or if I could do something good in the world, of course, it would be to support people to be more happy, to feel more joyful, to know that that we live amidst a benevolent presence, that this existence, that this universe contains a force that is benevolent, that its foundation is goodness, and we carry that within ourselves, that we all are actually born from a seed of goodness, of a benevolent spirit, and the essence of life energy itself is love, not love in that fluffy sense of being like lovey-dovey or romantic, but love in the sense of like that benevolence, that benevolent spirit. So yes, I think if everybody lived from that place, firstly within themselves, because it all starts within ourselves, we all have to understand that benevolent force that I myself am. Then if everybody actually lived from that place and shared that, I think the world that we're living in would be very different. But I feel we're heading in that direction, step by step. And what kind of people have you helped, and what do they come to you for help with? Would you agree that really at the end of the day, people just want to reconnect with the essence of who they are?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. You can meet anyone across the board in society, and the commonality that we all have is that everyone wishes to be at peace on some level. We all breathe the same air. We all drink the same water. We all want to have the best for our children. There's a commonality. So it's meeting people on that level, and I receive the full cross spectrum of society. If I had to classify people, which I don't, but I can receive kings and beggars. It doesn't matter what kind of label. Many different people come to see me from all walks of life for all different reasons. But if I had to say like that I specialize in something, I mean, there was a certain period of time where I was receiving a lot of people that that came to me for help with various addictions of different kinds: drug addiction, alcohol addiction, pharmaceutical drugs, PTSD, traumas of different kinds, just a basic sense of dis-ease. I say dis-ease as in the opposite to living in a peaceful way connected to their inherent goodness and the benevolent force of life, which creates a variety of different symptoms like anxiety or depression or sadness or a general feeling like something's not okay in my life or something's not okay in my world or something's not okay in this world. And so then reaching out from that place of vulnerability for support and help.
Can you describe any memorable, transformative healing journeys somebody you might have treated have had?
There's many memorable experiences. I mean, I have different faces. When you ask me that question, I have different faces in my memories and different people that I've come in touch with. It's all memorable, basically. Anyone who goes from being kind of dysfunctional in their life to coming into a place of sovereignty and freeing themselves from a place of enslavement where they have addictions or they need a substance to be able to cope in life, or any of the process of supporting someone. And each individual does the work. So it's also seeing each individual, how they claim their own sovereignty again. Sometimes they just need a little bit of support. So yeah, there's so many people who have healed from this place of dysfunction to then thriving in life again. So yeah, there's many stories, but maybe each one would have its own individual story.
In regard to addiction, what would be the mindset before the addiction and after the addiction? I can speak personally about my addiction to sleeping pills, a sleeping pill that I had for 2 years. I thought that it didn't exist. I thought that it was okay. I had to sleep with a sleeping pill every night. I didn't actually know that it was an addiction, and I didn't actually know that it was troubling me. Is that is that the same type of spirit that you see, that you come across?
Well, this is kind of how addiction works. It's very insidious. Sometimes it comes in and you don't even realize until it's got you, and then you realize that you need something in the outside of yourself in order to function. So sleep should be something that's really natural, that we can just go to sleep shortly after the sun sets and wake up after the sun rises. If that's being interrupted or that's difficult, it shows that there's a kind of imbalance or an interference on some level. But basically the source of addiction, and I think many people are understanding this now, is that there's such a longing for connection. Again, it goes back to the original question that you asked me, and I think everybody's feeling this to some degree, and anyone who might be watching this is drawn to watch this or hear these words because there's already an inherent knowing that there's something more than what we've been given. And there's a general kind of like mistrust in the system or a mistrust in society, yet what is it that we can trust? What is it that is going to fulfill that which we have such a longing for? What will settle that place inside of us that's unsettled? So then we look for different things externally. We're looking for things to help settle, to help find that connection. And basically it all goes back to this primordial wound where we've been separated from the truth of who we are, from our divine nature or our true nature, or for knowing that we are whole and complete unto ourselves. So it's a journey of finding our way back there, and addictions to certain substances is often kind of a detoured way of trying to find that sense of wholeness and completeness, or just basically trying to find a way.
Trying to shut off and have some peace.
Yeah, just to find a way
Rest.
to get through the night and to find a way to make everything okay. But what we have to understand is, and now we are understanding this more and more as we awaken to the truth. Each one of us is doing this in our own way, step by step. Everything is changing on the planet. We're all in this flux of change, of understanding that yes, we are truly and indeed energy, frequency. This is being proven scientifically through quantum physics. It's becoming somewhat mainstream to talk about things like this, which is...
So keep the vibe high, keep the vibration high.
Yeah, you can say this, but what does that mean exactly? You know, so...
Well, what I learned from you was to keep purifying my body creates a higher vibration, which creates a happier life.
Exactly.
A flowing life.
Yeah, so it's understanding that everything is frequency.
Yeah.
Everything resonates at a certain vibration. So whatever we're doing, everything that we're experiencing in life, every activity that we do, everything and everyone that we're engaging with will have an effect on our vibration until we're vibrating at a frequency where it's so strong and so powerful that we're untouched by external influences. I know very few people that are vibrating at that level. I do know a few, and it's it's incredibly inspiring. Well, it's just getting to a place where that's another big question.
Are they doing yoga every day?
Another big question.
Do they have a vegan diet?
I can't limit it to that.
No, okay.
These are like awakened beings.
They do,
you know, that's a really big question. It's like they've awakened to the ultimate truth of who they are.
Can you tell me what awakening is?
As we start to understand that everything is frequency and vibration, we can then be more discerning about what we engage in our daily lives. And that means taking care more about what we eat, being in touch with the energy that we're emitting, the energy that we're giving out, the energy that we're putting into our food, the energy that we're giving to our neighbor, the energy that we're giving to ourselves, the energy that we're transmitting. So this is part of the awakening, and what I feel is becoming more conscious. It's also about not listening always to the thoughts. It's understanding that who we truly are isn't necessarily what we think or even what we feel sometimes, to discern and to understand truly. But this is the human quest, to ask the question, who are you? Who am I? Where do I come from? Who am I actually? This is the ultimate question. And I feel like more and more we're turning inwards to really seek and find what the answer to that question is. And it's up to each individual. I can't really sit here and say like, okay, this is who you are, but I can give pointers, I can share my own experience, I can share wisdom from different traditions that I've learned, and little by little, step by step, each person can have these epiphanies or these awakenings, or get in this positive flow of understanding what feels good, what feels in alignment with my own integrity as I walk step by step on my life's path, on my life's journey.
So Samat, can you discuss any challenges that you have faced being an earth-based shaman?
I know there's times in working with people, and I work with people on a very deep level. I really invite each person to be authentic and real and share with me in vulnerability the depths of really what's happening to them internally, or the past stories or different things that are happening for them in their lives or have happened to them in their lives. So it has been, and some days it is very challenging to deal with the heartbreak that comes with the human condition, to see the level of struggle, to see the level of suffering, to see what people have to endure as well. It really some days it breaks my heart on a really deep level. And then it also just inspires me to bring more resolve, to sit in that ultimate truth of the benevolent force and know that some way, somehow, everything's going to be okay for everybody. And that we're going into a positive time. So even, it's like everything in life, the challenges brings more fervor to keep going and more strength to keep going. So this is also what I reflect to others. But yeah, I can say that sometimes it's heartbreaking. Yeah.
To go through the heartbreak with them.
Yeah, that compassion, the compassionate heart that is activated in me to feel how much suffering there is still in people and on the planet.
So Samaya, I'm really curious in the buzzwords at the moment, which is the rise of the divine feminine. Could you explain to me what that is, what it means?
I think it can be interpreted in many different ways, but I feel what's happening now is a shift. You can say it's going from what is perhaps perceived as an unnatural way of living to a natural way of living. And it's bringing us back to, again, our origins of being humans on Mother Earth, again, very, very simply. So understanding what is the source of our life, and understanding that the source of our life comes from the earth, through our food, through the air, through the soil, through the water, and coming into a respect of that, an honoring of the life-giving force. So you can say that that is a feminine essence. So, and in that, there's a respect and an honoring. So again, coming back to each person, understanding and respecting the source of life. So you could say that's
the womb.
That's the womb. That's the mother. That's the earth. That's the feminine. That's the mother. So each one of us honoring and understanding that within ourselves. And so I think for women in general, because we are given a woman's body and we have wombs and we have the opportunity to give life, it's coming into that honoring of the sacredness of the reality that we can create life, that we can grow life, that we can birth life. And that can be a source of inspiration of seeing what's happening with the earth, how life is created. Of course, we need the masculine principle as well. So
Absolutely.
It's not about one or the other. It's about understanding the essence of both that's required for life to thrive and flourish. But it's basically, I feel the rise of the divine feminine is really about coming back to the sacredness of life, the honoring of life, to understand how precious life is, how precious my life is, how precious your life is, how precious the water is. Just again, I'm coming back to how we started this conversation, the bare essential nature. So each one of us honoring ourselves in such a way of knowing ourselves to be a sacred being. And I think we can say that there's a rise in the feminine spirit simply because if you look at past history or maybe what's happened in society, there's been a kind of like oppression on women, and there's been a kind of general suppression of women, and a lot of women feel that it's difficult to find their voice, it's difficult for women to be empowered, it's often difficult for women to feel their sense of freedom, or that they can speak what they feel. And so again, these are all woundings that are being healed, and there's different sources for that woundings, and there's different reasons, but basically there is a kind of general resurgence of the feminine essence that feels safe to really shine her light or reveal her essence or fragrance. And all of this I feel is through earth connection and through honoring of ourselves. And so again, this is coming back to one of those questions you asked me about what have I received from the traditions. This is again coming back to that, the teachings that we are sacred, that the earth is sacred, that the waters are sacred. So there are different ceremonies, different women's ceremonies. You were interested about moon dance. There's different traditional ceremonies that really help to
connect us to our womb space. Well,
Yeah.
I found that I've been very connected to my womb space, which has only increased my awareness that I am a source for love.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
more connection, with more stepping into my feminine.
Yeah.
You know, I feel airy and fairy.
Yeah, so
I feel more in
it's-
love.
Yeah. So definitely this comes because you've had a certain level of healing or understanding on your own journey. So
Connection to myself and, you know, taking away the impurities, i.e. the sleeping pill.
Yeah.
It's helped me really connect with my womb space.
Yeah, that's beautiful
Yeah.
and amazing. And also the more we connect to earth, the more we connect to ourselves, the more we are embodied, that we can feel ourselves in our bodies rather than, you know, just connected to our thoughts or kind of not really in our body or not really present in ourselves. So yeah, some of the ceremonies, they really support the healing of kind of past traumas or the purification of energies or stories that no longer serve us, that things that we don't need. And then they also help to initiate us and activate us into more of our full potential and more of like our more kind of natural state of who
Which is
we
creative.
really are, creative,
Full of love,
full
joy.
of love, joy. Yeah, creative is a
Yeah.
really important word, to be in our creativity. Yeah,
beautiful.
to create beauty.
Beauty, yeah, that's right. So speaking of creativity, I thoroughly enjoy your songs, and I'd love to know, I'm curious to know, what has been your inspiration for your songwriting?
Well, it all goes together. I think everything that I've just spoken is my inspiration. I find songwriting a very interesting journey. In my traditions, there's an expression that you say like, we receive a song. It's different to maybe like kind of Western songwriting where you sit down and you write a song or you write a book or you write a song. In my tradition, it's like you receive a song. It's understanding that a song is almost like an angelic spirit that's floating around in the ethers somewhere that you just suddenly receive. And for me, it is in fact like that, where I'll actually receive the frequency or the energy of that essence that wants to come through to share. But for me, the tricky thing is always how to interpret that with the words. I find the English language very limiting, which is why you might find my songs very simple.
So could I ask what your favourite song is?
Of my own songs?
Yes. Mine is Shine Like the Sun. Shine.
Shine.
I love it.
I have to think about that one because, you know, when songs come through, they're like my children.
Yeah.
You know, like
Daughters of the Earth, maybe? That's a lovely one. You wrote that yourself?
they all have their different essence. They all have their different medicine. They've all had their own kind of healing effect on me as well. So I can say maybe one is my favorite at different times in my life. So I'm not sure. I mean, I'm working on a new recording project now. So yeah, it depends on the moment. It would be difficult to answer that. But I mean, the title track of my last album, Calling You Home, that remains to be a favorite, just in that it's a song that I feel has been able to capture the mystery of the silence in sound. because for me, so much, I receive so much in the silence. I receive so much truth in silence. And so how to capture silence in a song, that's a really interesting journey. So I feel Calling You Home does that to some degree. Yeah.
Well, can I just end on one more question? What is your idea of a perfect world? If you woke up tomorrow morning and the world was perfect, what would it look like? What would it be like?
Well, I think in many ways it would look like it already does. In many ways. I mean, we just really only have to open our eyes and see the beauty that's in front of us in every moment. We wake up to this beautiful, magnificent, glowing, orange, yellow ball of fire in the sky. That's pretty amazing.
Sunshine.
The nature that surrounds us, the people that we love surrounding us. But if we can go further than that, the way that I see it is that each person feels calm, relaxed in their nervous system. Each person knows that they are a benevolent spark of love, that they are goodness itself, that no one does harm to each other. No one does any harm to each other. And in that, there's a relaxation where all beings can, just that, feel relaxed to thrive and to create, that we can all feel expanded in our energy, that we can all do that, just that which we love to do, that which inspires us, that which makes us feel good, to have fun and share that with people, to honor and recognize the living spirit, the sacredness and all of nature and all of life, and to keep exploring and receiving the beautiful, magnificent mystery that is this infinite universe. It's the infinite universe, therefore it goes on for infinity. So there's an incredible potential for discovery and exploration. So for everyone to be in that enthusiasm for life and that openness. And then also, of course, just a basic general and genuine kindness for each other, which I feel again is really there, given the chance. Every human being, there's a kindness and a care. We just need to be given the opportunity to share that and offer that to each other.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Samat. I don't know if we'll add this in, but I really want to thank you for the love that you've given my son. He's given me permission to thank you. On behalf of my family and I thought that we had lost him. And a lot of people thought that it was a hopeless case. I didn't, but you really helped me with that. And that was a miracle, and I really thank you.
Can I talk about that a
Yes,
little bit?
absolutely.
So when you say memorable moments, and definitely seeing his smile or seeing his joy or seeing his humility and this deep humbleness, but from a really joyful place, that when I see that, it just makes my heart sing. And understanding that when people come and they have an addiction, I also have an understanding that I know that it's not them.
Yeah.
I don't say you're this, and there's no part of me that's in judgment, or oh, they're bad, or they're lost, or they're doing this bad thing, or it's not a morality thing. It's really okay, you've let this frequency into your pure being. Let's see what we can do to help liberate you and to understand, for people to understand, because they take it as themselves. It's really important for people.
He carried a lot of guilt.
Yeah, guilt, shame.
He didn't like himself.
Yeah,
he thought that everybody didn't like him.
Yeah, and this is how the frequency of that substance takes over the sovereignty of the being, the purity of the being. So it's being able to disassociate from the substance and see that the substance then creates a pattern of thoughts, a pattern of behavior. And then often people get caught because they identify with that as myself. So like with Milad, for example, I remember saying to him, it's not you. It's that. And once you remove that, it takes time. It really takes time. It takes time to purify those frequencies out. But in order to do that, you need support. You need to eliminate certain things and also bring in certain things. And he's just had, he's just such a shining example, and lucky he's got you as a mum as well. And again, it's all just how the universe conspired to bring him into this healing journey of him being able to live with you and you being able to take care of him and guide him and put him in a nurturing, healthy environment. So it's the removal of certain frequencies and then the bringing in of certain frequencies that then supports a state of balance, so people can then walk forward in a healthy way.
And this is why I believe in miracles. I hope the rest of the world can experience that, and a lot of parents can believe in miracles. Thank you very much. Thanks again.
Well, like one of my teachers says, he said, in these times we must be realistic and expect miracles. Let's be realistic and expect miracles.
I am.
So this is it, shifting our perception where the extraordinary becomes the ordinary. And claiming that as our birthright, because that is the truth.
Hope you liked that episode. Subscribe to Curious Kim Dennis. If you've got any feedback, please paste them in the comment box below. I'll get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. Also, if you have something you think I might be curious about, if you can't talk about it, I'll probably want to talk about it. Get in touch with me at CuriousKimDennis.com and you'll hear from me soon. And I look forward to the next episode. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed it.